Hello and welcome. My name is Julia and I am the face behind this YouTube channel, Julia Star Blake, which is linked to my business, which is Shining Star Holistics. So today I want to share with you something amazing, something that I have previously shared on Facebook, but I really felt that it deserved its own video here on YouTube. Now, you will have seen some evidence of what I'm about to show you already through my collective readings that I do. So what I'm going to be talking to you about is the story of how the crystal guidance cards became a reality. So you will have seen them in my readings. This is the back of the card. Okay, so how did they begin? I want to share it with you, in the hope that it's going to inspire other people out there to go with your dreams, go with your creative visualizations, because you never know where they're going to lead you. So for those of you that have been following me for over a decade, some of you are new, so welcome. You will know that I love tarot. So I generally work with the Faulkner Tarot, with the beautiful feather. I am one of the trainers for the Faulkner Tarot. So Rhiannon Faulkner, the creator of this deck, is a beautiful friend of mine. And yeah, I have been having the privilege over the last 10 years to work with this amazing deck. Now, I wanted to take my readings to the next step, to create a combination reading that would become quite unique. And what I decided to do was, I loved crystals. Now, it was in the early days. My knowledge wasn't fantastic, hence the journey that I was about to start. So I decided I bought myself, over some time, in the total of about 78 crystals. Okay, so here are some of the crystals. So we've got rutilated quartz. Can't really see the gold strands in that one. We've got clear quartz. We've got a jasper, Kambamba jasper. What else have we got? Merlinite. So these are my actual crystals that you see in the crystal cards. There's sunstone. So the idea was to do a card reading, a tarot reading, and intuitively pull a crystal out of my bag and place it on top of the tarot card, so that then the tarot energy and the crystal would be read intuitively together. Now, in order to do that, I needed to do some serious reading up on crystals, trying to write my own messages, but also making sure that these messages linked back in to, what the actual crystal was typically guided to do. As an example, there's no point me pulling up a rose quartz and giving it a message of security or boundaries or stability. Those are going to be the crystals that are more linked to the root chakra. The rose quartz is more about the heart and the emotional aspects of life. So in order for this process to start moving forwards, I spent quite a lot of time researching, writing my messages. I was taking the photos of the crystals, and I'm actually going to show you stage 3 of what the crystal cards looked like for a very long time. So basically, this is my photo of my crystal. So here we've got carnelian, and on the back is the message. So how did I kind of make these? I just took photos and I just ordered 6x4 prints. So I designed the back on a particular app on my iPhone, saved it as a photo, and again uploaded or pre-ordered the 78 meanings. And then when they all arrived, I was there with the Pritt stick, with the laminator, because they're laminated as well. And this was how I initially really started working with the crystal cards. I was starting to show them on social media. People were falling in love with them. And yeah, it was almost like, you know, when are you going to get them published? I want your cards. When's it going to happen? Well, you know, some years the tide was in, some years the tide was out. There was life stuff that took over. And it wasn't until the beginning of 2020, so the early months, obviously we had the pandemic, that was my opportunity to really, really focus back on my dream, my visualization, what I actually wanted to achieve. And one of the main things that I wasn't happy about was the photography. So I redid the photography. I now have an amazing LED ring light that I use every single day for a lot of my work. And having that light enabled me to take better photos, because if any of you out there watching this who have tried to take crystal photos, they reflect pretty much everything. So you can see in this apatite stone, my ring light. And that was the problem I was initially happening. And, you know, I couldn't get a deck published if I wasn't 189% happy with the images. So you can blame my Virgo rising for that. I'm very critical of the work that I do. So it had to be just so. Now, I managed to get all my photos done. I managed to, you know, rewrite some of the messages. I managed to create a lot of the images on an app on my iPhone and my iPad. I'm just seeing if I can bring any up, but I think they're all on my phone. But basically, you know, I knew this size wasn't going to be the finished product. So I redesigned the layout, okay? And one of the things that I was absolutely 100% certain on was what the back of the cards would be, okay? So let me just show you, because I just love this every time I look at it. This is the back of the cards. And it is actually one of the crystals in my collection. And I've moved it so I can show you. It's a big crystal. It's a pink alum. Look at this. So this was the inspiration behind the backs of my crystal cards. Because I don't know about you, but whenever I purchase a new oracle deck or a new tarot deck, you know, you always want to look at the backs of the cards. And, you know, they are just as stunning as the actual cards themselves. So I knew that was an absolute must, okay? So I redesigned everything. I was ready to go. And actually, by chance, I came across a firm here in the UK where I live that specializes in producing the crystal cards. So here we go. That was my light bulb moment. That got me inspired to pull them out from the depths and to keep working with them. So initially there were 78 crystals, which would have meant 78 cards, which is a lot for an oracle deck. Tarot will always be 78. That will never ever change. But oracle card decks can be as little as 35, 42. I think I've seen a deck that's 52. So I knew I didn't want to go too big. But how did I get the number down? And what was my number? This is where intuition, meditation, connecting in with my higher self came in. And the answer was so simple. It was staring me in the face. I was told to go back to the basics. I was like, okay, well, the basics of, devising, writing these messages was linking into the 7 main chakras. So starting with your root, your sacral, your solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown. Perfect. 7 chakras. Okay. So 7 is a magical number in itself anyway, isn't it? 7 days of the week. There's so much that represents the number 7. And actually, it was a year 7 in numerology that, got me thinking again about taking this to the next step. So the result was 7 cards per chakra. So 7 times 7 was 49. So I then decided that actually there had to be a master crystal. And one of the very first crystals that I fell in love with actually, is Clear Quartz. So this is actually the heart that you see on my own cards. And Clear Quartz, for those of you that don't know, it's known as the master healer. It's all about clarity, standing in your power. It's also going to amplify the energy of any other crystal. So, it was a foregone conclusion. Card number 50 had to be Clear Quartz. The master crystal is what I called it. And that kind of made me feel complete. Things are starting to move forwards. Now, we did have one little hiccup. I designed everything on my iPhone because I'm not a computer, laptop, technical person. If I can do it on an app, perfect. Well, the email back from the printers, absolutely wonderful cards, but there's no bleed line. Okay, what's the bleed line? And they sent me a little video. So what basically happened was we had to redesign all 50 cards on the computer. Or should I say, my husband had to redesign every single card on the computer. But it also enabled me to get the font sizes all the way through the same size to really, change up some of the messages if they were too short or if they were too long. So, it sounds like an easy job, Hey babe, can we just reproduce these cards word for word? Didn't happen like that. There was more evaluating, re-evaluating going on. So finally, we do the artwork for the box. We decide what's going to be written on the sides, and I will share that with you in a minute. Everything was produced as PDFs because that's what printers want. And yeah, I hit the send button. So initially they sent me a sample deck, which was brilliant because we could proofread for the 10th or 12th time. We did it a lot. And yeah, once I was then able to send my message out there that actually I'd produced my own sample of my crystal card, who wanted them? Because I had to get pre-orders. So we set up a private Facebook group, which is still running. So if you are interested in what I'm saying and sharing today, and you want to know more about these cards, just send me a little message, send me a comment, and I will happily add you into the private Facebook group. So yes, the crystal guidance cards. I'm going to read you the message, which you're actually going to get within the cards as well. There is an extra card that simply gives you this information. Because the cards do have the title, the chakra, the photo, and the message on them, there is no guidebook. You don't need a guidebook, okay? So let me read you what I wrote for the backs. The crystal guidance cards are simple messages for the modern world. Within the deck, you will find 50 cards, which are then categorized into 7 groups and represent the 7 main chakras. Each chakra will then give you 7 inspiring crystal messages to guide you on your journey in life. The final card in the deck is known as the Master Crystal and represents the wonderful energy of clear quartz. Creating this deck has been an incredible journey of joy, and my love for crystals has grown beyond belief. My wish is that you can also enjoy the beautiful messages attached to each of these crystals. And the tagline, simple guidance for the modern world. And, you know, the messages that have been coming out from the beautiful people that have already purchased their deck, or when I've posted a daily card and they can resonate with it, has been absolutely amazing. You know, you never think that, you know, something you produce is going to be taken in the way that you want it to be taken. But I am so super happy with all of these cards and what they mean. So yeah, I just wanted to share it. So if you decide that you want to find out a little bit more, maybe you even want to purchase your own deck, they're going to come to you in a little pink organza bag. This is a tuck box, and you know, they're not the easiest tuck boxes to get in and out, are they? Hence why I decided that, you know, maybe people just want to put them in a nice bag as well, or just use the bag. The choice is yours. So I'm going to show you some of my actual cards. So it was funny when I was trying to get the numbers down from 78 to 50, there were cards that, there were crystals that went in the deck, that came out the deck, that went back in. It really was quite a journey establishing the 7 messages per chakra. So the size of the cards is pretty standard actually. So if any of you have got any decks, or Hay House decks, so Colette Baron Reed, Yasmin Boland, Denise Lynn, they're the same size, and they're a matte finish. They don't stick together, and that was probably one of the things that I loved about the cards when I first received my sample deck. Look, they shuffle so easily, whether you shuffle like this or whether you just want to kind of like split the deck. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I love them. I absolutely love them. So how can you use these beautiful cards? Well, you can use them in 2 ways. You can use them as an oracle card. Take the message. You may want to do a daily card. You may have a particular area of life or a question that you want to answer with the cards. Or if you are starting out on your crystal journey, like I was all of those years ago, maybe you want to be using them as a learning tool. Okay? There is just so much you can do with them. There really, really is. So if anybody is wishing to have a card, have their own crystal cards, I do have a few decks left. You can see them up there on the top shelf. I'm just going to go through and show you some of the images. There's the rose quartz. Sadly, it's all in reverse, isn't it? So you're not going to be able to read anything. But come and join us in the crystal group. Come and get to know these cards a little bit better. Hematite, tree agate, red howlet. So I'm just jumping through. There's the labradorite. It's not going to show its shimmer so much on the video. Golden merlinite, honey calcite. So there's going to be crystals that you recognize the names of. There's a beautiful rutilated quartz. blue lace agate, pyrite, fool's gold, turquoise. So yeah, you'll know some of the names. Some of them will be new to you. Chrysocolla. But I just invite you, you know, to take or start your own crystal journey if you haven't already. Lapis lazuli, red jasper, blue sandstone. That's not really showing all the shimmering on the video. They are absolutely stunning. Gold sandstone. One of my favourites, look, malachite. Honestly, I look at this little crystal and it just amazes me every single time I look at it. I love it. There's our clear quartz, our master healer. So let me just read you the message for the clear quartz. I need to put my glasses on. Oh, no, they're out. The joys of getting older, everyone. Here we go. So you are now able to clearly focus on your goals as clarity becomes your best friend. In this moment, you can now think and see clearly ahead. So stay honest to your core values and who you truly are. These simple steps will enable you to achieve any success you've dreamt about. This is a fabulous time to take back your power and to move through life's ups and downs with clarity of vision. So there we go. There's my heart. There we go. My introduction that I was so excited to share with you about the crystal guidance cards. And don't you just love the backs? Honestly, they're so beautiful. So yes, I do still have about 5 decks remaining. You can purchase them via the website, shiningstarholistics.com. I will add in all of this information underneath this video. And yeah, I would love to be able to say that we can put in another print run, but I will need to get pre-orders. So if you want one of my remaining decks, snap them up before they go, because in the last week, I think I've sold 2 or 3. So yeah, they're going out the door fast. So I just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to my story, to, you know, hopefully share the beautiful energy that I've been able to pass on through the crystal guidance cards, which really are simple messages for this modern day world. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Feel free to share it. And yeah, tell everybody about these amazing, beautiful cards, the crystal guidance cards. See you soon. Bye.